In a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Welcome in everybody to the Road and Toe Show, episode 33. I'm your host, the only Toe for Life. This is my host, Road Dogs Media. Co-host for tonight, Big Man Audits, American Justice in Texas, and special guest, Wolves Den News. Welcome in, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
What up?
What's going on?
How's everybody's Monday going tonight?
Well, it's Monday.
Yeah, I heard that. I smashed my finger today with a hammer and blew the tip of it out.
Oh,
Ow.
man.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly looking. I just took the Band-Aid off. It's pretty gnarly looking.
Did anybody tell you you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah, well, when you're in the attic, and you're trying to staple a wire, and shit happens, bro. I mean,
I know.
Did you cry?
No, don't know quite what to say to that, but hey, it's still there, isn't it? It's still there, isn't it? Well, then you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I'll be all right. I've been through worse. So
I think I heard him crying from Indiana.
Oh, shut up, big man. I wasn't crying.
If he was from Indiana, he'd be still crying about it. I don't want to hear that.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Let's go through the chat, man, and start saying some hellos. I see we got Mexican long hair. Wow,
Mexican long hair.
MLH is in here.
MLH, what's up, brother?
We got Ellie. We got Lucky Laptop. We got Heather. We got BANANER. Banana Anna in the house. Who else we got? I seen some more. For public safety. Mark Wilson, Little Ridge Farms.
Dragonette.
AAP Variety Channel. Welcome in.
Pepper
Sweet
Brooks.
Tea Audits.
ATL.
Mr. Bodell's in here. Welcome in, Mr. Robert
Girl.
Bodell. How you guys all doing tonight? Glad to see everybody coming in and stopping by and checking us out. You get to hear some old guys and a very young lady up here talking smack tonight. No, not really. We don't talk smack. We just talk good shit up here.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk smack, too.
Yeah, but you did say young lady. Big Man's not that young. Oh, you're talking about AJ.
Oh,
damn.
Like I said, we were going to be talking smack tonight.
Yeah.
Well, he did say
There it
smack, so I figured I'd go ahead and throw it out there.
And
You're
here
real
again
funny.
slides in the shade tree. A little bit of shade on here. A little bit of shade.
Yeah, Robert Bodell looks like he just joined the channel.
Yeah.
He jumps in from time to time. He is one awesome guy. I love talking to him.
Yeah, Mr. Bodell's cool peoples. Anyways, let's get back to it. The Road Dog. I'm sorry, everybody. You guys got to give me a minute because I just actually was able to sit down and get to my computer. That's why we were running late tonight. This was Toe for Life's fault this night. Wasn't Road Dog tonight. It was Toe for Life's fault.
Yeah, I was going to go ahead and start the show without him, but he showed up right about the time we were getting ready to start. Yeah, I'll go ahead and hold off on you. We can't start the show without Toe for Life. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. And if you would have started
But-
the show, I'd have been so mad as many times as I had to wait on you.
Yeah, that's why I just, I'm going to wait on you.
Is
But,
Lady Love? Oh, there she is. What's up, Lady Love? Buddy. How you doing?
But yeah, I was over on K-Dot show on Saturday and ran into Wolf Den News, and I'm telling you, this guy has got a vast knowledge of the Constitution, and he impressed me on the knowledge he had. So I've asked him to come over here. We're planning on doing it Wednesday night as well, but we're going to have special guests with it, hopefully. But Wolfden, why don't you kind of introduce yourself, kind of give your backstory?
What's up, West Side?
All right. Well, the channel name is Wolves Den News. I usually go by the name Wolfpack. If you saw it on Discord, that's my name on Discord. I've had that name for over 25 years. Been studying, and I'm still not through studying, constitutional and I guess you would say constitutional law, because, lack of a better term, law, because the Constitution is the law. There is no higher law than that other than God's law. I did a radio show for probably 12 years called Patriots Awakened. Had a pretty good following there. Let's see, I had a stroke in November of 2018 and had to stop doing my show for a while. Had to learn how to speak English and do all that stuff again. Had massive memory loss with the stroke, that type stuff. But other than that, I'm getting back into doing, now podcasts, because the radio show doesn't, the producers and everything have bowed out. So I'll be doing constitutional argument and teaching and discussion and homestead survival on that podcast. So, hopefully people will listen. Hopefully people will watch and maybe learn something.
On the show that you're going to do, are you going to do that on the YouTubes, or are you going to do that on a different platform? Or what?
Well, right now I've got it set up to do on YouTube and StreamYard. Now that I know about this one, I might do a triple, have it on 3 of them. I'm trying to find the best way to do it and someone to actually help me do it, because I don't know what I'm doing. As far as YouTube and all that stuff goes. My first video that I ever did after I've got 2 videos up there. One was from several years ago, and the other one was from just a couple months ago. I did one in between that, and it got taken down because, I told too much truth, and I called politicians and I called the government out on their crap, and YouTube said I violated so many different things that they had to take it down. So they took it down. It's gone. Oh well. Another one will go up.
YouTube policies or something.
Yeah, well, that's what they said. I violated YouTube policy. What policy, I don't know, but it just said you violated YouTube policy.
Well,
so if YouTube keeps giving me that shit when I decide to say something and state my opinion, then yeah.
Yeah, it's getting worse. It's starting to get worse with YouTube on what they're allowing people to see, and a lot of the people that are monetized are having trouble monetizing videos because of too much violence. They say.
Yeah, I don't want their money. That's the thing. I don't want their money. They can keep that money. Someone's got a leaf blower going.
No,
It sounds like a fan or something going.
could be the
Yeah.
fan on my laptop.
Oh, if your fan sounds that bad, dude, it's time for a new laptop.
I got one. No, I got one of those. I got one of those extra fans underneath it.
Oh, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna mute my mic. See if you guys hear it anymore.
Gone.
Nope, it's gone. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah. So that was a fan. But, you know, that's I've been doing Patriot stuff basically all my life. My father told me that the United States was the only country going towards communism, while the rest of the world is going to being a republic. So that has since changed. Now everybody's going towards communism, as witnessed by Australia and witnessed by England, and the laws that they make. So, yeah.
I'm not sure what happened right there.
Oh, did it get shut down?
Yeah, it shut down on us for some reason. Not sure why.
Oh, don't tell me I spoke too much truth already.
No. I think something happened with Toe. Hang on, let me bring him back up.
Oh shit! I was in the basement.
Yeah, you were in the basement. I don't know. For some reason we got shut down and I'm back up. We're back up now.
Yeah.
But one of the things you had spoke about was different ways we can actually turn things around. And that's kind of what really impressed me on the way you thought about that. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Well, the biggest and probably the only way we can turn things around, and I don't mean turn things around as the United States going back to being a constitutional republic. I'll let you know right now that's done. The biggest way we can turn things around is to educate, to get people talking about what's going on, and then to get people acting. People don't understand, but we, according to our Constitution, all right, which if you've read the Constitution, you know it's a document not guaranteed by that document. All right. The guarantee comes from God. The document only affirms that guarantee. So in that guarantee that we've got from God and affirmed by the Constitution, we have a right as a people to destroy our form of government and reform a new government. And there are elements out there who are currently destroying our government, trying to form a new government, but instead of being a constitutional republic style of governing, they're going towards a communist style of governing, where the government has all the power, all the control, all the money, and you'd be lucky if you get a pot to piss in. And that's saying it mildly. So the biggest way is to get people talking, get people the knowledge they need. Sam Joaquin says it all the time, and I think just about every one of his videos. Knowledge of your rights is key, and he's 100% dead on. If you don't know what's in the Constitution, you don't know that your rights are being violated. Another big problem we have is that people are having their rights violated. They don't know their rights are being violated, and they don't really give a shit because it really doesn't affect them in a major way. They talk about one of the best sayings I ever heard is that it wasn't me, so I didn't care. When they came for me, there was no one left to speak on my behalf. There's a lot larger part of that because, it starts out with journalists, teachers, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the way it goes. People do not care unless it affects them personally. And because they don't know about their rights, it's not affecting them personally. And I think the COVID scamdemic should have popped that right in everybody's head, because it did affect you personally. It did affect everybody personally, but because you don't know your rights, you didn't understand.
Right.
I mean, that's the way to put it. So the way we need to fix this, and the way we can put this into a position where we will survive, to where there will be some sort of constitutional republic left when it happens. Yeah, we need to educate people. We need to let them know what their rights are. Everybody should be calling their congressman and saying, I need 200 pocket constitutions. They're supposed to give them to you for free. All right. You should be calling your state offices and doing that, getting that done. Call your governor's office. Tell them you need a copy of a pocket constitutional guide for the state that you're in, or commonwealth that you're in. All right. And then you start fighting those rights that don't match. New Jersey is a perfect example of it didn't affect them, so they don't care. Go carry a gun in New Jersey. Go ahead. I dare you. If you don't get shot, you're going to spend 20 years in jail because you had the audacity to exercise your constitutional right. All right. Of self-defense, self-determination, and self-defense. What else is there? The self-determination covers everything. Self-defense covers your right. Most people don't even know the difference between liberty and freedom.
That was
Freedom.
something you talked about. I thought that was pretty impressive as well.
Well, let's explain it so at least the people here will understand, or the people that see this. Freedom is your constitutional rights. The ones guaranteed by God and affirmed by the Constitution. Liberty is your right to exercise those freedoms. It's basically simply what it says. It's your right to exercise your freedoms. And if you don't exercise them, you lose them. It's just like muscle. It's just like everything else. You could be the greatest martial artist in the world. All right. You could be Bruce Lee, but if you don't use your martial arts and you don't practice and you don't train them, there's nothing there when you go to use it. Your constitutional rights are the exact same way. If you don't exercise and start using your constitutional right, then you're going to lose it. It won't be there for you. You'll be the one with the ATF popping up on your door, or the FBI, or your local law enforcement. That I hear so many people, back the blue people, say they won't do this. Well, I know the sheriffs and deputies in my county, they won't do this. I know the police in mine, they say they won't do this. And I say this to those people: bullshit. All right. If I have to go to your house and take what you own, or be out of a job and not be able to support my kids and my family, I'm going to choose going to your house. Plain and simple. And ask an officer, are you willing to give up your livelihood, your children's future, your education, your children's education, your grandkids? Are you willing to give that all up in order to protect someone else's rights? All right. 99.9% of those officers will tell you, no, I'm not giving that up. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't give up. If I was in their position and that was the only way I had to make income, no, I wouldn't give that up either. But thank God I'm not in their position. I'm an old man with nothing much to lose. I'm going to fight for my rights. I'm going to educate people as best I can. And I'm going to teach people how to survive what is headed our way. Because it is headed our way.
Do you think, I don't know how I want to say this, but what would be the percentage do you think would do it or not do it?
As far as police or?
Yeah.
All of them.
I don't know, man, because
I hear a lot of talk.
I hear a lot of talk, but I mean, we've seen a little bit of it in the last 2 years. These the mask mandates. A lot of police, they were supposed to write tickets and arrest people for not wearing masks, and they didn't do it, and they wouldn't do it.
Okay, but excuse me. They were told by their police union not to do it. The officers in New York, Washington, Oregon, all those ones that left the job, they were told to do it. It wasn't pretty much a personal choice for them. They were told that, this violates your union contract. So everybody quit. Go for your pension. Take your pension. All right.
Fair enough.
I saw one officer who actually stood up and they slammed him for it. There was a big thing on YouTube and a whole bunch of Facebook and all that about this officer who spoke up. And I think he was in Washington State, not DC. And he got tore apart, lost his job. That's a man I'll stand behind. That's why I said 99.9%.
I seen at least, I want to say, and I'm not sticking up for any police by no means, but I know I did see at least 5 different sheriffs around the country that said they would not enforce it.
Yeah, they don't have jobs.
I mean, you can't just get rid of a sheriff. A sheriff's an elected official.
No, they can be gotten rid of.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
what's the
it's
guy?
not like firing. It's not like firing a deputy. A sheriff. He's an elected official. You can't just walk in and say you're fired. Like a mayor can't walk in and say you're fired.
Oh,
like
no,
you could to an officer or something.
You got to understand, a constitutionally elected sheriff is more powerful, has more authority than any mayor. All right, than any county official, than any judge in that county. Okay,
and how's that?
Constitutional. They are the highest form of law in the county. It's in the Constitution. People don't know. If you're pulled over by a police officer, you can request a sheriff's deputy. If you think that sheriff's deputy is going to help you, you can request a sheriff's deputy. Because whether it's a city cop or whether it's whatever, the county sheriff is the highest form of law enforcement in the county. And that is written into the Constitution. The highest form of law in that land is the sheriff. He's the only elected law enforcement official. A police chief is not elected, he's appointed. But again, you need to know that. People need to know that.
Right. Well, that's why I asked the
trying to
question,
remember-
because
I'm trying to remember the exact document, the number that's, it's 18. It's in the 18 series, but I'm trying to remember the exact number. But yeah, it's in there. But yeah, the county sheriff is the highest form of law. He overrides all other law enforcement, including the police chief, including the mayor, including the city council or the town council or the county council. He overrides them all, even the judge. All right. The judge on the bench is not a higher form of law enforcement than him. Most of those judges are appointed. They're not elected.
See, I was always told that the highest form of like law enforcement in a county is the prosecutor.
No. Oh, no. Prosecutor's not even on the top 10. A sheriff's deputy has more authority than a prosecutor. They may think they are. All right. The judge may think he's all powerful. But when they go to arrest that judge, who are they going to send to do it? The sheriff. All right. A county, a sheriff of any county. All right. County number 1, 2, 3. All right. He's elected there. State police do not even have more authority than he does. The governor has no more authority than he does in that county. All right. There's certain provisions, and we use this a lot of time on the radio show. Who can call up the state militia? All right. The citizen militia, who can call them up? There's only 2 people that can. But people don't know it. It's your judge, or not your judge, but your county sheriff and the governor of the state. Those are the only 2 people that can call up a state, your citizen militia. All right. So say you have a daughter in college away from your city. You saying you don't want her to be able to call the police if she needs to. Okay. No. You obviously didn't listen to anything that we said with that question. First of all, your
Just
daughter.
so you know, that guy's a troll. So
I know he's a troll, and I'm gonna troll him right back. If you as a parent did not teach your daughter how to defend herself, you failed as a parent. All right. You don't call cops to defend yourself. You call cops to clean up the mess after it's done, because that's all they're good for. Okay. Until they start proving that they're there to help the community, that's all they're there for.
yeah.
Is to clean up the mess when it's done.
And just so you know, Road Dog, he's really not a troll. He may be saying some things that, yeah, he's not a troll.
he's got a channel. He's got a channel.
Hang on.
He trolls the.
Well, he
community.
he may ask the questions. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with him asking them questions.
No, it's a valid question, but if he's doing it to be a troll, then I'll troll him right back.
He's on a couple other channels that I watch.
Okay, but
So
I mean, honestly, no. I don't want your daughter to call the police if she's in another state. I want her to defend herself. I want her to have means to defend herself, because 3 minutes for a police to respond to any call, and in some places it's 3 days for them to respond to a call, is too long. That's death. All right. Your daughter being able to defend herself is instantaneous. A martial art, a firearm, a dog. All right. Criminals do not fear that they're going to get their ass beat. They fear that they're going to get their ass bit. All right. Criminals give up all the time when guy says, I'm releasing the canine. Oh, no. Okay. I'm coming out. Yeah. Get a dog. Big dog. Mean dog. A loyal dog. Trained to only respond to you or your family. All right. Get a gun. If you are legally able to buy a gun by the Constitution, get a gun. There is a constitutional portion that says in order to maintain your constitutional rights, you must not violate constitutional rights. And that's the basic gist of it. That's not the exact word. All right. If you're a rapist, a pedophile, a murderer, well, guess what? You just violated someone's constitutional rights. If you're a murderer, you violated their constitutional right to life. If you're a rapist, you violated their constitutional right to be secure in their persons, papers, and property. Same thing with a pedophile. You violated their rights to be secure in their persons, papers, and property. Therefore, you lost your rights. You voluntarily gave up your rights.
Now, I did over there when we were talking the other night. Somebody asked you the question, are you an auditor? Are you a cop watcher? You responded with another answer. What do you consider yourself?
I am a constitutionalist. Not, and I want to make it very clear, because this is a term that only applies to government. I am not a sovereign citizen. I am a constitutionalist. I believe that all laws should be derived from the Constitution and with the Constitution in mind. Period. I am not an auditor. I don't have the temperament for auditing. All right. Because I'm the type of guy, I will defend my rights. Up to and including the use of deadly force. Which is, again, my right. You threaten my life, you threaten me with violence, you're going to get violence. That's why I won't do it. I won't do auditing.
Right.
Because I've seen how these cops look at auditors, and I know that my temperament is not suited for it. And a lot of that, you know, in a previous conversation today with Road Dog, yeah, he knows why. All right. You can't be taught certain things and not use them. I'm just saying. Not going to get into a great debate over that, but yeah, he knows why. All right, good night,
Arkansas, I did send you that link. If you check, I saw he's in chat. I wanted to.
Who?
Audit in Arkansas.
Oh. All right.
He's the guy that I go out cop watching, auditing with. Very much ex-military, very much about the Constitution. That's why I'd asked him on the show with you, because he has a vast knowledge as well.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I mean,
Here he is now.
it's good. It's always
Yeah.
to have different opinions and different knowledge base. He may have more knowledge than what I have.
Right.
You may have studied different aspects of it.
Let me answer Big Bob. Yeah, Big Bob, I get it, man. I understand. You're just asking, the questions, brother. I'm not mad at you. I know you're not trolling me. So yeah, no, that's fine. You can ask the questions, but I will tell you, Big Bob, that I, for one, I can't speak for everybody here, but I, for one, am don't hate all cops. I hate bad cops.
No, I don't.
And I don't hate nobody because that goes against my religious beliefs. But I dislike bad cops. So let me rephrase that. I dislike bad cops. I think good cops are out there, and I know they're out there, and I'll praise the good cops when I see them.
I'll tell you, Bob, I don't hate cops either. I'm a big proponent of
What's
law
up,
enforcement.
NC Tyrant Hunter in the house, y'all.
NC, what's up, brother? I do not hate law enforcement. I hate, and I'm using the hate as a very strong word because it is. I hate what law enforcement has been allowed to do under the guise of government control.
True.
All right.
True story.
If your city council, if your mayor, if your sheriff, if your judges didn't allow them to do this, they would not be doing this. Plain and simple. They're being allowed to do this. The city council does it, or your town council, or your county. They do this because it brings in revenue. It's another way for them to tax you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay? The laws do not make good citizens. Good citizens make good citizens. Laws are designed to make criminals. That's it. But we do, as a society, knowing man, the way everybody has learned over the years what man is about, we do need law enforcement. But we need to have law enforcement that has strict guidelines, strict boundaries that they cannot cross. And if they cross it, it is a sharp and heavy rap on the nose. And it's got to be that way. Unfortunately, certain laws that were there to protect law enforcement and there to protect city councils, this qualified immunity stuff. All right. Those were put in place so there would be no repercussions.
Yeah, and Bob's 100%. Without rule of law would be crazy.
Oh,
I'm having trouble pinning comments, or I would be pinning some comments up, but because of
let's be fair to Bob, because I did come at him a little sideways because someone said he was a troll.
Yeah.
All right. And whether he's trolling or not, I don't like trolls.
Right.
All right. I'm here to educate people, and if you're going to troll me to think, and if he's not being a troll, he's not being a troll. I apologize. But yeah, I'm not here saying law enforcement sucks. All right. And they all need to die. I'm saying they need to be held accountable for their actions. Mm-hmm. They cannot use qualified immunity and say, well, I was just trying to do my job, because guess what? The Nazis, they were just trying to do their job.
Right.
The Russians during Stalin. Hello, Charlotte. The Russians and the Russian law enforcement under Stalin, they were just doing their job when they killed 22 million people in the first year of Stalin. Mao and his law enforcement were just doing their job when they killed 33 million people after he took over. Okay. They were just doing their job. That can't be the excuse. We can't tell Hitler and his law enforcement and Mao and Stalin and all them, oh, you guys were just doing your job. We're holding you accountable in a court. We're going to take you to court and have you guys hung and shot and all that shit. And then come here to the United States and say, well, you guys were just doing your job, so we're just going to allow you to kill people. We can't do that.
Right.
And we got people that are saying we need to be a beacon of light in the world. Well, we can't be a beacon of light anywhere because we can't get our own shit straight.
Right. He says,
Oh,
correct. Their job is to uphold the Constitution, but it has strayed from that.
Thank you.
And that's very true. And I think that's what. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like Wolves Den. I'm not an auditor. I'm not a cop watcher. I tell people I'm just a guy that sits up here and talks shit 3 nights a week. But I mean, I think these I think that's what the auditors and the cop watchers are trying to do is get that trying to get it back to that they're upholding the Constitution. In a nutshell, and don't get me wrong, man. Listen, I understand there's some guys out there that are auditors, some guys and gals. Let me put everybody in there. There's guys and gals out there that are they go overboard. They go overboard with it. I don't think I think they're in it for the clicks and the views, and they go overboard just to get reactions so they can get clicks and views and all that kind of stuff. But there's genuine people out there trying to do the good work, trying to put in the work and trying to get it done. And they don't care about the auditing.
I left the Patriot militia aspect, of being a 3%er because of the fact that they wouldn't get behind the auditors. I was a leader, and I said this the other night. I was a leader of a national group, a very large national group. One of the leaders. We had a council, and I asked them to get behind the First Amendment auditors because they're standing up for constitutional rights, and they said no because it would be too controversial. It would be, like snubbing our nose at law enforcement, which we support. And you're right, we do support. We do support law enforcement. Everybody does. But what we want is we want the law enforcement to be held accountable when they break the law and when they violate people's rights. They need to be held accountable. Now, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'm going to address something real quick in the chat. Hey, Carolina. Yeah, you just text me. Unfortunately, after I go live, Carolina, I don't give the link out to nobody. If you would have, when I had you on the phone earlier, I should have, if you wanted to come on panel, I'd have gave you the link. But I don't give the link out no more, Carolina. So maybe Wednesday night you can come on panel. But tonight, I can't do it.
Is that Carolina Fort Worth?
Yeah, Carolina Fort Worth. Yeah,
love her shit.
Yeah, I just talked to her before the show, and I forgot to tell her.
See, I love what auditors do. Because auditors, they bring to the forefront the conversation. Okay, and you guys rock. You're putting your shit on the line. When the founding fathers said that I pledge my life, my liberty, my fortune, and my sacred honor to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. That's what you guys are doing. Maybe not to the point of your life, but your liberty and your honor. I mean, that's some big shit right there. That should be the oath that every government official takes, is to pledge their life, their liberty, and their sacred honor. Now, unfortunately, most politicians today don't have any honor. And when they do find one with honor, they try to kill him, or they do kill him. Plain and simple. Kennedy had honor. Martin Luther King had honor. Because all he wanted was what was fair, what was right. And they killed him. It's
Marcus,
just sad, but you know.
Right in Arkansas, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is his mic working? Because he hasn't said that yet.
I'm just sitting here being quiet.
Well, I seen you chat, so I didn't know if you were having mic issues or what.
No, I'm just being quiet. I'll hop in here if I disagree with something, but so far I'm agreeing with everything. You know, I'm a retired military man. You know, and I raised my right hand to support and defend the Constitution, and you know, I'll die. I will die defending that Constitution.
Yep.
Thanks
Agree
for your-
100%, brother.
Thank you for your service.
I took that oath. I took that oath without reservation. Broke my body doing it, but you know, I took that oath without reservation, and it doesn't have an expiration date except upon my death. And even then, I'll probably come back and haunt people.
And thanks for your service, Wolves Den. And Super Mario dying is part of the show. Just saying.
Yeah, we're actually taking up a collection to teach him how to play it, so he don't die.
They got to teach me how to play Mario. Or as my buddy Jeff NC Tyra Hunter would say, stop fucking texting me. I'm fucking live, damn it.
No, he doesn't. He's the one that says, "Bam,
Yeah,
bam, double bam."
It's Bamley for life, baby. Bamley for life. That's what we do around here.
Yeah, but it's, you know, there's a lot of misconception about the Constitution. All right, and I told you I was going to blow up, and here it is. Audit the Audit put out a video. Now, I think it's a redo of a video, but he put out a video of, who is it? I believe it is Amagansett Press and his son at a state liquor store in Idaho. And they were talking about how the Constitution, you know, your First Amendment, free speech, and, you know, how the misconceptions and the case law says this. Now, we've had a lot of things added to government and law since the Constitution was written. And I think the Constitution should always be moving forward. All right. Always to be added to, never taken away from. And some of the stuff that he said in that video really got my dander up. The government can own nothing except for forts, ports, and 10 square miles. That's the only thing that can be owned by the federal government, and, well, basically by any government. If under the Constitution you have a right to free speech, and the Constitution was written not to guarantee those rights, but to guarantee that the government doesn't screw with those rights, you can't then go back and have a judge or a jurist come through and say, well, you can do all that except in these areas. We have to give you a place to exercise your constitutional right. And I don't care what case law says. I don't care what district Supreme Court, the Ninth Circuit, First Circuit, Third Circuit, whatever. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they come up as case law or setting precedent, because the original precedent was set. And is all you're doing is taking away from that original precedent, which is the Constitution of the United States. That is the original precedent. You can't tell me that just because the state owns something, I can't go exercise my free right because the state says I can't. And if you're a proper jurist, all right, you will uphold that right over all.
NC Tyrant Hunter is up there with the trucker.
Yep. North Carolina. I love what you're doing. I watched your video the other day, NC. But the Second Amendment was not there so we could overthrow the government. That's not why it was there. The Second Amendment was put in so that we can actually defend our rights, the right of us to self-defense against all comers, including government, especially government. So there is a clause that we talked about earlier in the Constitution that says we have the right to overthrow the government and form a new one. To abolish, I'm sorry, not overthrow, abolish the government and form a new one. That is partly why the Second Amendment was put there, because without it, we can't do it. You're not going to change the political ways of today by being nice and using words and safe spaces and teddy bears to hug and binkies to suck on. That ain't going to work. People are going to have to get nasty in defending their rights. They're going to have to probably get physical in defending their rights. And I hate to say it, and it's my opinion, that's the way it's going to have to go, because the way the government is going now, it's not going to work. It doesn't work for me. Okay, personally, it doesn't work for me. I can't say how it's going to work for you guys. That's up to you guys. But we have things set up. Absolutely, 100% agree with you. But me, for myself, as a person who believes in the Constitution and the constitutional republic that we have, or that we're supposed to have, I'm not going to make the first move. I'm going to wait. Let them make the first move. Let them come for me. Let them come for my Constitution. And do it blatantly, as an act of war. And then God help them. After that, God help them. I hear a lot of quietness.
No. I was reading chats while you were talking.
Okay.
I kind of got a laugh because NC Tyrant Hunter's on his mobile phone, and he was saying hi to Nevaeh, and he put hi Nevada. His spell check. His spell check said Nevada.
Yeah. But it's people have just got to educate. If you don't know what you're fighting for, you can't fight. You don't fight with the same vigor. You don't fight with the heart. You don't fight with your soul. And it's all you're going to end up doing is losing, because you don't know what you're fighting for. You don't believe in what you're fighting for. I see a lot of auditors, Direct D, getting arrested, standing up for his rights. Um, News Now Omaha getting arrested, exercising his rights. And let me tell you, they hate your rights. As far
That's
as I
correct.
can tell, law enforcement hates your rights because
Yeah,
it
out in
prevents them.
Arkansas,
It pre-
another one keeps getting arrested.
Who does?
Out in Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. He's out there doing what we should all be doing. When they talk about doing a mass audit, I don't want to see 5 or 10 people. I want to see hundreds, thousands.
And there's thousands out here, believe it or not. I mean, there's thousands of auditors out here.
Yeah, there's a joke that goes around that I believe it was Cat Williams talking about the difference between black people rioting and white people rioting, and he's correct, but that's what needs to happen. And I don't mean rioting in the aspect of tearing down a community. I mean rioting in the aspect of showing up and forcing law enforcement to stand down without burning an innocent person's business, without killing innocent people, without threatening to kill innocent people. Welcoming everybody who's there for the Constitution, no matter what they are or who they are. If they're there for the Constitution, buddy, you're on my side. I'm with you. I may not agree with what you say. I may not agree with what you stand for, but I will definitely defend with my life your ability to say it.
Yeah.
And your ability to believe it.
I actually want to pin a comment here when I get back to it. I want to talk about this real quick. I'm glad this person wrote this comment if it shows up. Come on. You read that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great Lakes Audits is a friend of mine. He's an auditor out of Ohio, Northwest Ohio. And he was out today on he was doing a post office audit. And they called the police on him. And when the police showed up, one of the officers was a friend of his, 25-year friend of his, that he's went on vacation with, watched his kids, he's watched his kids and all that. And the guy treated him like a piece of fucking trash.
And you see, that's the problem. I mean, for anybody who says any cop won't do this, won't take away your guns, won't pick you up and put you on the train, there's your example. 25 years these guys were friends, and he was going to arrest them because he's doing his job.
I'm just pinning this so everybody sees it. You don't have to read it if you don't. It's not about what we're talking about.
I had a program that I tried to set up in the Patriot community. Not pay to play type thing, but if everybody put in $1 in the community, you could do all that. If everybody once a month donated $1 in the community to get an auditor a better camera or, something that would help him be an auditor. If everybody in the business donated $1, all right, that's a half a cup of coffee, a quarter of a cup of coffee, just once a month. every month you'd be able to buy new equipment for somebody
Mhm.
A lot of
or help a new auditor get started.
other
But,
auditors, man. A lot of other auditors, they how do I want to put this so it doesn't come across shitty? A lot of other, I'll just fucking say it. A lot of other auditors are fucking stingy. They, in my opinion, feel like an up and coming auditor might hurt their views, might hurt their revenue. So they won't help another auditor out. I'm a small channel. I love shouting people out. I've got people over there putting other people's links in my chats right now. And it's sad that, people can't come together because we're all helping fight for the same cause, right? And I appreciate the love and support I've got from people, and you've got people like NC Tyrant Hunter and Auditing Arkansas, having giveaways, giving away old equipment to help other auditors. And that's the way it should be.
Well, there's some auditors out there that are just in it for the money. I'm not. I don't care whether I make a dime or not. I do it because I want my grandkids to have a future.
True, very true.
Right.
I've seen people doing it for the clicks and views for monies too, man, and it's ridiculous.
And a lot of it has to do with you got a lot out here with the auditors and the cop watchers. There's a lot of cliques and there's a lot of rifts between different little cliques. It's like a high school. It's like freaking high school, dude, out here. It's crazy. I mean, it gets me sometimes where I just want to like turn YouTube off and walk away from it. Just watching how high schoolish some of this stuff is out here. So, I mean, that idea you have, Wolves Den, I mean, that's the greatest. I mean, that's a great idea. And you're right. If every auditor, if every supporter out here dropped $1 a month, $1 a month, there would be so much money to go around to help people with equipment and gas and maybe even bail money, you know what I mean, on auditors getting arrested. But the problem is that there's so much high school rifts going on out here that it'd never happen. It would never happen.
It's got to be. I'm sorry, I shut off my mic and my camera.
No, you're all right.
Trying to eat my dinner too. I'm a diabetic and I have to eat, but there is. If you want clicks, you want money, join the Snapchat club. If you're a woman and you want clicks and stuff, you just want the money from it, man, just go join the Snapchat club, shake your titties around, and yeah, you'll get your likes and stuff like that. Plenty of simps out in the world. If you're a dude and you want to shake your ass for Snapchat, whatever, to get likes, yeah, go ahead, do that too. I don't care. But if you're just after clicks and likes, join what's that one group? I've lost the name of it. It just popped out of my head.
Talking about TikTok?
No, it's a YouTube group. Reaction videos. Yeah, just start reacting to people's videos. If that's all you're there for, if you're there just to get a couple of bucks, make a reaction video, make it good. Maybe do both. Bounce your titties around at the reaction video. But, you got to be doing this for the right reason. You got to be doing this constitutional stuff for the right reason. Just to get clicks and likes is not going to work. You're never going to succeed. People will figure you out, and then they will drop you like a bad habit. You know, they'll drop you like a lump of shit out the toilet. Plain and
Yeah,
simple, flush you
one of the
down.
things that PTP 719, police 719, one of the things we had actually talked about was trying to get different attorneys in different areas and doing kind of a where somebody can sign up monthly that would help cover the cost of bail, lawyers, things like that. But the fact of getting it started is what's going to cost a fortune. Trying to get an attorney that will go pro bono or something is like slim to none anymore.
Well, then you're getting into the area of like USCCA and
Right.
you know, stuff like that.
But this would have been strictly for auditors and civil rights kind of stuff.
Well, that's what the ACLU is supposed to be for, but they've turned into an organization that picks and chooses their clients based on their political views.
Right.
Exactly.
And based on
this would
what's going to
be-
fit the narrative.
Right. And this would be 100% for auditors, 100%. But the cost of it is going to be outrageous in order to keep it going. I mean, you stop and think about how many auditors are arrested in a month.
Yeah.
And
Great Lakes ACLU is a joke.
ACLU is a joke.
Yeah.
There is a couple of lawyers. Like if you're out east, there's a lawyer in West Virginia who does a show. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Puppy's fighting with the German Shepherd. Sorry about that. But God, what the hell's his name? Somebody's probably seen him. He's done a bunch of stuff.
Hey, NC, good night.
Yeah. Good night,
NC, get some rest. You got to drive ahead of you tomorrow.
Family for life, y'all.
But yeah, let's be completely honest. Do you trust a lawyer?
Nope.
Nope.
Because they all
Nobody
work.
does.
They all work for the same system, bro.
All right, they're all
It's
a part of
that
the
simple.
bar. They're
Yeah.
all part of the British accreditation resource. They all take titles of nobility, which is a constitutional violation. You know, they all actively seek out that title of nobility. So can you really trust them? No. Do you have a choice? Yeah, you do. If you want a greater chance of losing, yeah, you could represent yourself. But I've seen that happen, and the guy representing himself just totally shit on the prosecuting attorney. Yeah, I mean, just shit on him, shit on his pillow. So being that you need lawyers to do most of it, I look at it this way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, that's true,
so
Elliot. That is true. I look at lawyers the same way Adams looked at lawyers, and especially when he said that, wouldn't it be a shame for lawyers to get involved in the business of politics? It will destroy our nation. Yeah, look at our nation. Look at where we're at.
True.
I loser.
Yeah, like
Look
Mr.
at where
Brodell
we're at.
said. Mr. Brodell said his public pretender gets paid by the state
Right.
attorney. So I mean, they work for the same people. They work for the person that's trying to prosecute him.
But again, let me point out something very simple. the public pretender gets away with what they get away with because people don't know their rights. People don't know.
Mr. Bodell's giving them a hell of a run for their money. I tell you that.
That's for sure.
You got to know your rights.
Yeah, he's in there. He's in there with his rights, and he's in there with audio recording devices, and he ain't playing. He's getting him to incriminate himself right on audio voice recordings. It's crazy.
But
Yeah,
we
he
need
just
people like that.
just put one out today.
Oh, he put another one out today. I didn't get to see that one.
Mm-hmm.
We need people like that, though. We need people that are willing to put it all on the line for stamping out corruption. Because that's all we're talking about here. You know, we're talking about our constitutional rights versus corruption.
Correct.
Okay. And if people don't understand, you know, all right, and I can prove my point that people aren't even understanding. Even in the auditing community, they don't understand. What does the First Amendment say?
Now, we actually just covered this on our show.
Yeah. What does it say? I've gone through every amendment of the Constitution on my radio show, going through and discussing it in detail. Now, remembering all of that conversation and those shows is a different story, but they're somewhere on my computer. I can bring them up. What does the First Amendment say? Anybody in the chat want to answer? Anybody on the panel want to answer?
I mean, I know what the 5 rights are. I think I know. Look, man, I forgot what I ate for breakfast already. So, I mean, I might fuck it up, but I know it's freedom of press, freedom of religion. I'm going to do it layman terms real quick. Freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, and freedom to redress your government.
The
There
right
it is.
to petition.
Yeah. Layman's terms, man. I'm a layman's terms type of guy.
Yeah. So, okay, we put it in layman's terms. Does it need to go any more complicated than that? No. So why is it so complicated when you look at it through the law?
It shouldn't be that hard.
Well, no, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't be.
No.
You have a right to redress your government. Okay. That means any form of redress that I have at my disposal.
Hold on. I got one here. Let me grab it. Here, you said anybody in the chat? This one put it right out there. I'm trying to show it, but I'm trying to clip it. There it goes. I think it'll go now. There you go.
Or the right of the people to. There's more to it.
There's more to it. I think he had to stop right, and he probably
Albatross.
gonna add
Thank
more.
you.
Yes.
But it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. But yet they've made it, because having lawyers involved in politics, they've made it so convoluted and complicated. You know, my religion says that, you know, I can worship the acorn that grows from the oak tree. Oh, but the law says you have to have at least 11 people believe in that religion in order for it to be a religion? Really? My religion is whatever I say it is.
No, the law says you have to have at least 11 people to get 501c status.
You have to have at least 11 people in the religion for it to be legally recognized.
Right, to get 501c status from the IRS, not to be a legal religion, but to get 501c status?
Well, I'm not too up to date on the 501c3s. I'm not looking at that. I'm not bothering people's religion because I think it's their personal belief. But yeah, so that's a legal recognition, by the way. So, okay, what about your right to peaceably assemble? Does that include?
Here's the thing about peaceful assembly. The government can, and this has been decided by the U.S. Supreme Court, and I have case law somewhere, but time, place, and manner restrictions have been placed on free speech, and it has been upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court.
I've got it written down, or I've got it in another video that Auditing America did.
So the video you're talking about, Amagansett Press today.
Yep.
He was on a non-traditional forum. Okay. Now, that being said, the government can't come back retroactively and say, well, that's not we're going to place time, place, and manner restrictions on it after the fact. They have to place those restrictions on it prior to you showing up. So I don't think that Audit the Audit was correct in his assessment on that.
No, he wasn't. Actually, he was dead wrong. Even what you said is dead wrong. Because I said it earlier. Legal precedent has been set in all of those cases that he mentioned. All of them. The legal precedent for that is the Constitution of the United States.
Understood.
Because it is the original law of the land.
But because our Constitution is a living, breathing document, our system of jurisprudence, the way it is set up in the United States, they are allowed to do it. They are allowed to make those changes. Article 2 of the Constitution gives the judicial system that explicit right to do that.
It gives the Supreme Court that explicit right.
Correct. And the Supreme Court has placed time, place, and manner restrictions on free speech.
The Supreme Court didn't do that. A circuit court did that.
Not in his video they did, but he didn't quote Supreme Court case law. I've got it somewhere because I'm going through that right now with a harassment charge. But I have the Supreme somewhere. I'd have to dig it up. But I have Supreme Court case law that says time, place, and manner restrictions can be placed on public property. However, they can't do it retroactively. They have to place that restriction. For instance, let's say let's just take the Lincoln Monument. Let's say the Lincoln Monument in Washington, D.C. They can't come in and say, after the protest has already started, that we're going to place time, place, and manner restrictions on the Lincoln Monument, where it's traditionally been an open public forum. But they can come in and place those restrictions before the protest starts.
I get what you're saying. Arkansas, we're actually like an hour and 20 minutes in, man. We can do a short intermission if you want to take the time to look it up, what you're talking about.
Well, I'm actually looking it up myself. I am showing a Supreme Court Ward versus Rock, which was against racism in '89. And then I don't know if this one was actually this has to be state, but it was Police Department of Chicago versus Mosley in '72.
I believe Cox versus New Hampshire was it was a unanimous 9-0. Let's see, that was issued in.
I think
1941. Reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on free speech are constitutionally permissible.
Okay.
Cox v. New Hampshire.
All right, let me argue that point, and then I'm going to bring up the stuff that he used. In the Constitution, it states in the codes regarding the Constitution, any restrictions, permits, or fees placed on a constitutional right, all right, are number one, null and void in their face and in their premise. And two, that if any governing body places a restriction, fee, or permit on a constitutional right, the citizen may exercise that right with impunity. Case law before all of that other case law, because that was back in 1850, somewhere 1850 to 1860. So again, it's a political jurist system stripping away constitutional rights. All right. I should be able to, as a citizen, walk up right in front of the governor's mansion, all right, without being a threat, or right in front of the White House without being a threat, and voice my concerns without having to worry about being arrested.
And
Because
you
I
can.
didn't have a permit to
And you
protest.
can, and you can under normal circumstances, unless they come out and basically do an exclusions list. Let's say there's a heightened threat or something. They have credible, and they put an exclusion zone around it, and they impose a time, place, and manner restriction on a 2-mile radius around the White House. And they've done that. They did that during 9/11.
Yeah.
And something, and they can do that. They can do a restriction on that. But under normal circumstances, you can do that. You can walk right up to the White House gates. I've done it.
Okay. Several people were arrested. Oh God, what was his name? A Marine. He went up to the White House and danced, or some George Washington monument or something, and danced, and they arrested them for dancing. And he was arrested on the Commons for the Lincoln Memorial and a whole bunch of places. He was arrested because they said he didn't have a permit to protest.
Well, now, just because he was arrested doesn't mean he was convicted. Now, you got to understand that a cop can arrest you for walking down the side of the street with no sidewalk because you're not walking on a sidewalk. You understand that a cop can arrest you.
That was a video that was a video that just came up yesterday.
Yeah, that was a police accountability report.
Yeah.
So the cop don't care. They don't care what happens. They don't care. Once they effect an arrest, they do not care. And so they can arrest, and all they care about is, they made an arrest, and you have to pay money to either fight it or pay the fine. So they can arrest you for anything.
Yeah, but the cases that Auditing America brought up was Airport Commerce versus Jews for Jesus in 1987. That was one of them. But again, they set restrictions and permits in that decision on your constitutional right, which is not the purpose of the Supreme Court of the United States, which is the only legitimate Supreme Court. Your circuits are not legitimate. Those are government-made, government-appointed circuits. to handle legal issues. All right. But the laws themselves are only supposed to be adjudicated by the United States Supreme Court. The justices that have the lifetime appointment, all right, to do that, and that are constitutionally appointed. Okay, they're appointed by the Constitution. Those are the only judges that are supposed to be making opinions on constitutional rights. That's where case law becomes a problem, because the simple act of them adjudicating it is illegal, because that's not their job. But just like the ATF, they've allowed a secondary appointed government to come in and make these rulings and then expect you to live by them, even though they are unconstitutional. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. We're looking at case law and saying that case law supports this, case law supports this, but they're forgetting the Constitution is the original case law, where it says I have the right to freedom of speech and to redress my government. But they say, because it doesn't say we can't do it, we can do it. It's like being arrested by the ATF. Who the hell is the ATF? Who are they? Oh, they were an organization brought up by the government to regulate firearms. The Constitution doesn't say they can't make them, but the only reason why they were made was so that the Congress can obfuscate their responsibilities onto another organization, so that Congress doesn't have to deal with this stuff. And who was the auditor we had up there, Rode, on Saturday night at the end?
Talking about Joe Cool? Oh, or Seven Freedom.
OKC vet.
We had talked about him, but he wasn't up there.
Yeah, he was on the panel in the end. He had talked about that federal, the congressmen, the representatives and senators were supposed to be appointed by the state, not elected. And so they began representing their constituency instead of the state, as they were originally intended to do. And we started talking about the Federalist Papers and the Anti-Federalist Papers. Y'all need to read those things. Okay, y'all need to read that to understand everything you need to know.
I was just reading that. James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison, the big anti-federalist.
Well, I did get a text message I wanted to read. Talking about case law and constitutional. Case law is to argue specific details involving an incident. The constitutional law is supreme and cannot be trumped. States argue case law to suggest they are violated because of A, B, and C reasons. What would be your response to that?
Read that again.
Okay, I understood what he said. I'm just
case law is to argue specific details involving an incident. The constitutional law is supreme and cannot be trumped. The state argues case law to suggest that they aren't violated because of A, B, and C reasons.
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
No. They're arguing case law. They're arguing case law in order to win their case. They're adjudicating case law, trying to set precedents, all right, to override a unconstitutional action or decision.
I guess you'd have to understand what the difference between constitutional law and case law would be. Uh, Constitutional law is case law. When a case is adjudicated, let's say the people versus Wolves Den, okay, and there's a ruling, whether or not Wolves Den wins or Wolves Den loses, and he appeals that to, let's say, I don't know where are you from, Wolves Den?
Oklahoma.
Okay, so you're in the what circuit are you in?
Is that the
Seventh?
seventh?
Sixth? Okay. Well,
I think it's the seventh.
I'm in the Eighth Circuit, so let's just go with the Eighth. So it's the people versus David here. Okay, so David wins or David loses, and he appeals it to the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals sides with the state, and then David appeals it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court sides with David. Okay, so we create a precedent there. What happens is the Supreme Court reviews the constitutional law against the case law or against the adjudication that happened prior, and then they make a decision based on constitutional law. And once that decision based on constitutional law is made, that creates case law.
Yeah, that's basically the process. Yeah. There's two different laws you're dealing with, constitutional law and case law. But constitutional law, in its definition, is case law, and that's what they forget. Okay. But
no, not really.
Going by the Constitution, though, which is what we're supposed to be following.
If you're a pure constitutionalist.
I am a constitutionalist.
Well, I am a constitutionalist also, but I also believe that once again it's a living, breathing document that we have to take case law as constitutional law.
Well, you might not have heard what I said. The Constitution should always be growing, never to be taken away from, but to be added to.
Exactly.
Okay. The problem is when you start setting restrictions on the Constitution, okay, you start changing the Constitution. You're taking away from it. Okay. My constitutional right to freedom of speech and to redress my government means I can do it in any public forum. No exception. Any public forum. All right. We are to construe the Constitution in its broadest, not narrowest. Okay. Which means we're to be given as the subject of the Constitution every available what's the word I'm looking for?
Basically, the benefit of the doubt.
We should be given every benefit. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for. Every benefit.
I think Mom's Wholesome Videos answered the question perfectly. They are resolving a controversy involving the interpretation of the law. It's what the Supremes do.
Well, that's what the United States Supreme Court is supposed to do. All right. The circuit courts are not supposed to do that. They are there to handle legal issues, not constitutional issues. The only constitutional issue that we should be having, all right, are the laws that they're making going to detract from the Constitution or add to it? That's the distinction of the United States Supreme Court. Well, exactly. But you have to look at the criminal statute to see if that's constitutional to begin with.
But if it's a civil matter, then the criminal statute wouldn't be a factor. And the
No.
Supremes, they rule on civil matters too.
Well, yeah, the districts do. All right, but say Biden decides to pass an executive order stating that all citizens, which is actually, it's on his desk, by the way, that all citizens must turn in their firearms. Okay, that's
Good
actually
luck
on
with
his
that.
desk. It's
Good
on
luck
his
with
desk.
that.
Okay, that all citizens must turn in their firearms and then reapply for permission to have firearms for hunting and sport purpose. All right. Well, that right there is an executive order. That immediately, because it's a constitutional issue, goes to the Supreme Court. All right. Doesn't go to Congress to approve, doesn't go to the representatives to approve.
Correct.
Okay.
But-
It doesn't go to a committee to approve. That immediately goes to the Supreme Court. And immediately they should be saying that's unconstitutional. That violates the Constitution, Second Amendment to the Constitution. And it should be thrown out immediately. But yet, on a regular basis, executive orders, even by Trump, by anybody, going way, way back, executive orders have been passed and made into law. All right, because they weren't, Congress and the House of Representatives didn't do their job and rebut. All right, so they were made into law without ever touching the Supreme Court.
All right. We're gonna take an intermission.
Well, before we go to intermission, my old ass is going to bed.
Oh my!
Road Dog knows I'm old and
Bro,
Hey,
You are-
just,
you are
just
not-
so you know,
you are
just so
not
you know,
old,
Wolfden,
Arkansas.
Wolfden, just so you know, he's younger than you and I.
Yeah, but-
Not much, but he is younger.
yeah, but I've been out cutting wood since 6 o'clock this morning.
Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah,
And they usually stink.
well, mine don't.
All right.
You
Well,
take
I
care,
guess
brother.
Auditing Arkansas is going to take his exit during intermission, y'all. But
Yeah,
we're gonna,
I am. Y'all have fun, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next round.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming, Auditing Arkansas, man.
Anytime, Arkansas.
And
You can
Thank
get
you,
my
buddy.
number. Anytime you want to talk, you can get my number from Road Dog. He'll give
All
it.
right, appreciate it. Toe, have a good.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Take care.
Jason, talk to you later.
All right, talk to you later. After the intermission, we do have somebody I'm going to try to bring up that has an argument on some of the stuff you talked about. So it ought to be kind of interesting. They want to debate with you kind of about what's being said.
Okay.
All right. So
Never turn down a
anyways,
debate.
Exactly. Yeah, it's somebody that they're respectful. That's the reason why I'm saying I'll bring them up. It'll be a debate, not an argument.
Hey, I don't mind arguments either.
Yeah, but we're no drama here.
Well,
So
then we
we're gonna take-
gotta cut out the politics if we're no drama.
Yeah.
Because politicians are just a bunch of drama queens.
Yeah, well, as long as we're not talking about who we're voting for and all that, then if we're just talking about the Constitution and that's not politics to me. But once we
Yeah.
start talking about, hey, I voted for this person and that person, then that's politics and that don't go.
Right. Well,
Don't fly here at least. But yeah, we're gonna take an intermission, y'all. Go to the bathroom, go get your drinks, go get your smokes, do your smoking, do your drinking, do your whatever you want to do. If you want to chop it up, I don't care. That's on you. It ain't me. You know how we do. So here it is.
Try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. Swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove. Staying motivated, teaching others what to do. I'm staying focused, my mind is open. They start to notice that I'm in motion. There is no potion, you're not just chosen. It takes devotion to stay composed, man. Never stop, there ain't no time to fall. Try to live, get it up, you got one life to ball. Thinking big, never small, cause you gotta want it all. When you finally get that call, you get ready, take it on. Need a hand out, I already stand out. Starting to advance now, ready to expand now. You don't have a chance now, cause we're in demand now. Make it by the grand now, feeling in command now. They're looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now.
So we did the double trouble intermission. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around with us. I will let everyone know that we got about roughly 25 minutes, and then I'm going to close the show down because I got some things to do tonight. So I can't run it over too much, but we are gonna ask Wolves Den probably if he'd like to come back up on Wednesday, and we'll take whatever we leave on the table tonight on the Wednesday show, and I may have a couple special guest special guests coming up also. I don't want to name drop right now because it may not happen, but right now I'm in the works on getting a couple people in here.
What's up,
here?
Holy Lord. Hey, so now you remember what I said for public safety, 25 minutes and I'm closing the show. I'm just saying, I know how you are, man.
Man, I'm bad at following rules, bro.
Well, I mean, I got the controls. I hit the end stream that fast. I mean,
hey, just because he ends the stream doesn't mean we can't continue to talk.
Right.
You know that's right, dude. I'd love to.
Hey, don't say that. I'm telling you, don't say that.
Yeah. Well,
A 20-minute
conversation
tonight turn into 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, he don't know me yet, does he, guys?
I've done 12-hour radio shows.
Man,
I think I can handle this.
Me and you could have a lot to talk about, brother. I'm a constitutionalist as well.
Oh man, I love it.
But
I've
also indulged quite a bit in understanding case law. My girlfriend actually has a case law over one of the cases that we've been through. What we do, our platform, what drove us to becoming activists, is we actually suffered consequences of a botched raid.
No problem, you gang.
And they ended up breaking her back. The police did, beat the crap out of me and did all kinds of stuff wrong. So we've had a pretty big legal endeavor on our plate for a couple of years now, which put us in the position to where we had to learn a lot about law. So that's where we're coming from. We don't have a whole lot of time involved. I mean, a couple of years, but I mean, it's had to be everything that we live for in order to be able to stay afloat, you know. So we've probably come quite a good ways. I was listening to you guys talk. First, I was listening to you talk about constitutional law, and I was over here just, yeah, he's awesome. You know, you're good. You understand constitutional law very well. I applaud you.
Case law, I'm not so good on. Constitutional law, I'm pretty good on.
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of driving me nuts over here because we've had to learn a little bit about case law and its relationship to constitutional law. Because I'm like you, I was thinking, screw that shit, man. Constitutional law is Trump. It's supreme. You can't trump it. It's like everything else is bullshit. So I used to look at all case law and say it doesn't even matter. Like it shouldn't even matter. And it kind of shouldn't, but I understand it now, and I didn't before. The relationship is, from what I understand, is that you have to utilize case law in the argument when you bring a constitutional law to the court table. Okay, so let's say my First Amendment is violated and I bring a lawsuit, or I'm being charged and I'm a defendant, and I'm trying to say, well, the reason I'm in court today, I shouldn't be being charged, is because they violated my Constitution. Well, what they'll do is they will bring up an argument of a detail involved in the particular case that would suggest to give them some type of defense. Like we were saying, I think the name David or something like that, we were talking about at a post office earlier. To use that for an example, if David was at the post office after hours, okay, then it was not technically open to the public. In that situation, in that one portion of the argument, there would be case law that they would have to refer to say, in this case, they determined that if it's not open to the public, therefore David's case matches that. It wasn't unconstitutional when we told him to get lost. Even though he was there for his own grievance reasons or whatever, it wouldn't be unconstitutional. So they utilized the case law to break down those elements so that they can argue that they didn't violate constitutional law. At no point can they say this case law overrides the constitutional law that we're looking at here in this case. Okay, it doesn't override it.
Real quick. I understand what you're saying, and case law is supposed to support constitutional law. If that's what I believe, that's what you're saying. What I'm concerned about is that they're using the lack of case law to override constitutional rights, because they won't hear arguments because there's no case law supporting that argument.
Which is why we're in the position as civilians to be able to bring new case law to the table. Anytime an argument has not been heard, details in an argument have not been presented to a court, then you can take it to an appeal in which will be brought to case law. It will become case law if you win. In other words, if it's a detail that has not been dealt with by the courts yet, and the courts are just like, oh shit, I don't know what to do with this, then that appeal gets brought before Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has to make a determination based on this brand new scenario. And if you win, then you are now inventing case law. You're adding case law. That's how case law works.
Yeah.
So,
okay, that makes sense to me if it's in support of a constitutional law argument.
it goes both ways.
But the original intent of what I said is that case law doesn't override Constitution. The Constitution is the original case law.
Well,
and there are judges, and there was a case in West Virginia with that lawyer I was talking about, where the government itself intruded on the rights of an individual and of the lawyer involved, because they how did I put it? The U.S. District Attorney went to the law enforcement who violated probably every constitutional right on the market, by breaking into a man's home when he's not there and videotaping, taking pictures of his guns and serial numbers and taking stuff out of his house, i.e. Dilantin, and testing it for drugs.
Mm.
And then leaving those test kits, the negative test kits, strewn about his property. Okay. And the lawyer went to the Department of Justice and told them, and the Department of Justice went to, instead of investigating and doing what they were supposed to, they went to the officers who violated the law and violated constitutional rights and told them about it. So things went on and went on. And because there was no case law on that particular case, the case was thrown out.
Yeah, see, that sucks when that happens, because that is a situation in which would require more effort on the victim's part. And by effort, I might also mean thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and time,
Yeah.
And what happens is that we civilians are not equipped financially or with the right time, like amount of time that it takes to file that tort and pay the attorneys to get it all the way to that level, especially when you don't have any agreement by the state. Like, usually these disagreements, the constitutional violations, they end up being in the form of a settlement real quick. They just want to settle and get out of it because they know they violated constitutional law and you're going to win.
And then it doesn't become case law.
There you go. Bingo, sir. So it doesn't become case law. So therefore, there is a lack of case law in support to the Constitution. And there's nowhere near as much of a lack when it comes to the state side as a defense over constitutional law. So you're right in that, because it becomes the state ends up with a higher hand in case law to defend themselves against people saying, hey, man, you violated my Constitution. So they have a lot more defenses. I mean, it says that clearly in law. You probably do a lot of studying, but if when I look into, like, when I'm studying constitutional, like Valor's, professors that are really, really high up there, they'll all say it. There's a lot more case law in defense to the state, an argument for the government that is the upper hand against us civilians and citizens. We just aren't equipped like they are to be able to afford to do process the way they use the process. They're using our tax money against us.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And lawyers pay for their own time.
Yeah, man. And they're all about working for the state because that's where their income is. Yeah. So, and most of them will have a conflict of interest right off the bat when you try to get one for a 1983 class act. They're already going to say, I can't even do it, man. I do this for them.
I work for the state. I can't, I work for this company. There was a case where in Tennessee, somewhere in southern Tennessee, where the police department literally went out and talked law to every single lawyer in the town.
Who did?
The police chief.
He was trying to tell the lawyers to do law.
No, he wasn't telling them to do law. He was talking law with them. Once you talk law with them, it's a conflict of interest to sue them.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, depends on how the lawyer sees it.
That's an old case. I mean, that's from like the 1950s.
Right.
But even back then they were trying to, trump the citizen.
Cheat.
Trying to get one up on cheat and trump and get one up on the citizen.
Yeah, they do it in every case scenario. You ought to see how they react. You'll have to join my page later on my channel and my girlfriend Tiffany here, because you'll see what we're going through when it comes to dealing with them as individuals who have a very real 1983 against the local government, you'll see the reaction and the retaliation that they'll go through. It's ridiculous. Like they even set our lawyer up originally. We had a lawyer that was working for them for the first 181 days because, you know, you get 180 days to file a notice of tort. He worked for us for 180, or it was 181.
Yeah.
And he made sure not to file anything for us. So we had to take our suit with a different lawyer through suing that lawyer to do it.
Yeah.
But they'll go through anything. And I'll tell you another thing. This just happened to me the other day. We've got a beef with our prosecutor over all this because he was the one that decided it, right? We called attorneys over a recent incident where they kicked us out of the courthouse for no reason. We were trying to get an open record, and they physically manhandled us out of the courthouse. Just kicked us out and said we were trespassed, which was bullshit. You can't trespass us for not doing anything wrong, you know. But yeah, they assaulted us and kicked us out.
You're not supposed to be able to be trespassed from a public building anyway, and especially
doing lawful business, making an appointment with the prosecutor.
Yeah, when you're doing legal and lawful business, that's even worse.
Exactly.
But
So we've got a video.
A judge cannot trespass you or cannot tell you cannot video in a courthouse. They
Right.
do not own the courthouse. As long as you don't go into their courtroom, they have no authority.
Correct.
People don't
this
know
was a
that. People think a
prosecutor-
judge has authority in their own house.
Exactly. Well, this was a prosecutor giving the police unlawful orders to assault us, basically, to kick us out. I'm talking about her and I.
Battery.
And so we started calling lawyers on that one just to see, you know, like that's nothing compared to the case where they broke her back, you know, and came in our house. So we were calling lawyers on you know, recording it, sort of doing audits on the whole scenario. And we got this one lawyer the other day that called back, and he said, so tell me what happened. And I told him, and he accidentally said my name before I told him my name. I got it recorded. So yeah, he knew who I was when he called. And he wasn't supposed to, because I had only given my first name, but he slipped up and said, and he said her first name too, which I hadn't given. And so I knew at that point right away, I caught it. You know, I was like, this guy's a setup. So refused to take a complaint. Oh yeah, Heather, I'll tell him about that in just a second. So we get to talk with this lawyer just a little bit longer. I just wanted to see how much shit he was full of, you know. And I told him what happened. And now I told him we have a recording from the time we got out of our car until the time we were kicked out of the courthouse, you know, put back into our car, more or less. And I said, it's raw footage. There's no breaks, no, you know, nothing's been done. It's not tainted. I have proof, in other words. And the lawyer says, well, I've known Jeremy Mull, the prosecutor, for 25 years, and I work in the same building as he does.
Ouch.
Yeah. So it was a state's attorney. And this motherfucker wanted to hear all my case information that I planned on utilizing against the prosecutor, you know, who I will be naming in this lawsuit. So basically, he was collecting information on a conflict of interest.
Yep.
And he knew he was doing it before he ever called, or he wouldn't have known my name.
And, you know, there comes a point, and I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not telling you to go out and do anything. This is my opinion.
Okay.
Okay. There comes a point in a man's life where he has to go out and pull a Will Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my opinion, any man puts his hands on my wife or gets out of bounds with my wife, they're going to have a come to Jesus meeting behind the woodshed.
Yeah. Well,
either my woodshed or their woodshed. It don't matter. It's going to happen.
Yeah, that's my fight, brother. And I'll tell you what.
I don't want you to respond to that. I don't want you to respond to that.
Well, I'll tell you what my situation was. I was actually at the butt of 7 shotguns, ARs, in handcuffs, being beaten when they broke her back. I was in handcuffs, face first on the concrete, getting pistol whipped. There was nothing I could have done about it other than watch, you know.
After,
and then,
when
of course, they're not going to let you
it.
go until they know you're not going to retaliate, you know. I didn't get out of those handcuffs for 5 hours. And I hadn't broken any laws.
I'll tell him I'm not going to do anything. I'll be fine. I said, I'll be fine. Just give me a couple days to get over it. Yep. It may not be that week, may not be that day,
Yeah.
but
Well,
some people are going to find dirt as a blanket.
Well, I'll just put it to you like this. I am doing everything I can to try to get accountability out of the actors that were involved. Matter of fact, everything I live for now is to make sure that accountability is met by these actors. And that's what our channel's about.
Well, to me, it'd be one way or the other.
Yeah, it is.
You know, to me, it'd be one way or the other because
I'm doing my best to do it peacefully first. You know what I mean? And if it don't work, it don't work. We'll just have to see where we go. But I'll tell you this, I promise there will be accountability for this situation. That's what I can say. You know, there will be. I'll make sure of it.
Yep.
Heather asked me a question a little while ago. I can't remember what she said. Something about
about telling the police about something.
It was when you tried to turn in the complaint about the police.
Oh,
They told you.
yeah. We had to take it to the state cops because the county cops had assaulted us, you know, in the courthouse, like physically put their hands on us and all.
Oh, these were sheriff's deputies?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's sheriff. Yeah, that's who we have a problem with is Clark County law enforcement. And I spit their names out and everything. Fuck you, Donovan
Are
Herod.
you in my state?
No.
No, I'm in Indiana. Are you
Indiana?
in Indiana?
Okay. No, I'm in Oklahoma. We have a Clark County too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a Clark County about everywhere. No, I'm Clark County. Well, I'm not in Clark County, but that's who I have beef with. Clark County, Indiana. But yeah, so the Clark County cops put their hands on us, you know, and it was illegal. It was obviously a crime. So I brought the statute to their, you know, chief and major. And I had to kind of trick him because we'd been trespassed. You see this? Trespassed from the courthouse, which is where the fucking police station is. So we had to go in and do a grievance without, you know, let them know who we were. When I got the major out there to me, I said, hey, man, while you're out here, I'd like to press charges on about 7 of your officers. And he's like, I can't do that. I was like, well, I guess I have to go to the state police then. So I went to the state police and I told them, me and her did. We went right in the front door and we said, we'd like to press charges on this person, that person, this person, and this person. And the reason we're here at the state police post is because it's your jurisdiction, because they are sheriffs. They're all county officers.
Well, when the sheriffs, when the complaint is against the sheriffs, that's what the state police is to be there for, is to handle those complaints.
No, this wasn't a complaint. I was filing charges.
Well, yeah, complaint, charge, same thing.
No, they're different. Complaint is a complaint. A charge is a charge.
When
I
you're
was filing charges.
Yeah, I would have too. No, actually, I wouldn't have. I would have just taken care of it. I wouldn't have. I won't go the court system. I don't trust the court system.
It doesn't work.
I don't.
There's too many
the thing
people
is,
against you.
I'm a broke man. All right. My body's broke. I'm beat up. I'm old. I'm too damn old to be messing around with a court system, and I don't make enough money to mess around with a court system.
Yeah.
All right. When a lawyer tells me he needs a $15,000 retainer, and I tell him, dude, I ain't got 1,500 pennies to put together.
Let me show you what I'm doing right now. Can y'all see this?
No.
Looks like a piece of paper.
You don't read? You can't read that?
No.
Notice of tort claim.
Yeah.
I'm doing my own. Fuck them. I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah. I like my way of doing it.
You know what? They violate our constitutional laws so much. I've got 7 complaints with the DOJ in less than 6 months. I mean, they've all been constitutional violations. If I can't afford lawyers for every one of them, I'll just start practicing. Hell, I got 7 shots at it.
So
I'm down to get one of them halfway right.
This major that you spoke to refused to even take a complaint?
Yeah, it gets better. The major refused. Well, no, he took the verbal complaint, but he told me to come back with the evidence, and I'd already showed it to him. It was just raw footage. So I went back, or I called before I went back, and he wasn't even there. It was a setup. I got a call from a friend, so they were going to arrest you for that trespass. I was like, oh, okay, neat trick. Fuck that prosecutor, Jeremy Mull. Fuck you, Jeremy Mull. So we went on to the state police, and this is where it gets even funnier. They have a protocol for exactly what I was going there for. If I called a report and I want to make a report for an assault on a person and I have proof that's their probable cause, that's it. They don't have a choice to tell me no. So this state police officer comes running out and he's like, "What's your last name?" And I said, "I don't want to give it." And he said, "I need your last name." I said, "Then get the report out." He goes, "No, I want your last name first." And I said, "So you can retaliate?" And he said, "I need your name or I'm not doing nothing." And I said, "Okay, my name's Chris." And I said, "So get the report out." "I want your last name." I said, "Get the report out." He said, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the report on another officer." And I said, "You don't know your fucking job. Get me higher up." He said, "I'm a sergeant."
Give me your lieutenant.
Sergeant
Your
of the
captain.
police force of state police, post 45. Fuck you, Nagel.
I still keep trying to call him.
Yeah, she likes calling him nipples. I call him.
And
But
while
yeah,
you're-
we don't have no problem calling them all out, man. If we know that they're doing it wrong, I mean, it goes blasted all over our social media. That's what we're about.
But again,
why-
it goes back to what we were saying earlier. There is no personal accountability.
It's a problem that needs to be resolved. And I think the more people practice doing what this community right here, the 1A community, the more they practice, the better our odds are. Because the only other option's war, to be honest with you.
So were you eventually charged? Was it a misdemeanor or a felony?
No, we never did anything wrong, brother. They just had it wrong.
How did they? What was their reason for coming to your house to begin with?
The real reason or the reason they had on paper?
that's actually funny.
I think Wolves Den needs to go back and watch our episode with you guys, doesn't he? Because it'll take about what, 3 hours?
I've known these
Episodes.
guys for ads. I've actually only known
Episodes.
these guys for 2 days.
Yeah, you're going to have to go back and watch the 2 episodes about our story.
3.
Well, actually,
Three.
it's 3 because
Two
it's
with
actually
you
you
and-
on
technically it's
2
3.
and
Two
Tip
with
on
you.
another.
2 with you, but the best one was official misconduct. I'm just saying.
That's
This
it.
girl
Well-
right here, she's the reason for all of it. I don't know if it's because she's the best thing in the world and anybody fight for her, or if she's so much fucking trouble.
But nobody really knows the exact reason. That hasn't came out yet.
Well, I know the exact reason. I just haven't blasted it yet. I've
Right,
told
that's,
you,
that's what I
Road
was saying. The exact yeah, I know what it is. You know that. But he has not put that out yet. So you'll have to wait and stay tuned for that.
The exact
Okay.
reason is for public safety, dress is funny.
Wow.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
Dress is
alert.
funny. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, you dress funny.
What, you don't like my sleeping shirt,
I'm
man?
just messing with you. Hey, but since we're in the laughing stage of the show, man, I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta kill this stream. I got some important business to take care of. But for public safety, you're welcome back Wednesday. Wolves Den, you are definitely welcome back Wednesday. Like I said, I got a couple. Hopefully, let's cross our fingers. I got a couple special guests coming on Wednesday. And we're gonna I think we'll have a good show and we can further along talk about. But yeah, I would suggest go watch for public safety. Like we said, we did 2 episodes with him and then an episode with official misconduct, and they are putting in good work out there, and everything they're doing for themselves and for the community, I mean, is just awesome.
Well, to understand our story, you probably just want to watch that because there are a lot of details involved.
Yeah,
It was really just a big old mess from a bunch of fumbling idiots fucking everything up.
Well,
Just like
I
you were
mean,
talking about.
as far as I'm concerned, I heard what I needed to hear. They hurt my wife.
Yeah, that's my bottom line, buddy. Hey, I was gonna
That's a
put my
line
email
that-
in the chat, but I don't see where I can add that. So Wolves Den,
I can. He don't have email.
I don't do email.
any way you want to
He
get a
don't
hold
do
of me.
Facebook.
phone
He
numbers.
don't do nothing.
Get a hold of Road Dog. He can give you my phone number.
That's what
Yeah.
I was going to say. Road Dog, you're more than welcome to text back and give him my number or whatever. We'll get in touch, man. You know,
Oh yeah.
You know,
But
you
just plan on being on the phone for 5 hours. Just
yeah.
I'm throwing that out
And-
there.
And you guys are going to be more
I
than
try to help y'all out.
I mean,
I really do.
you guys are going to be more than welcome to sit backstage and talk for a little bit if you guys want after we close
Absolutely.
the show. But I just got some pressing things I got to do. So I mean,
Yeah, and 007 already called you out for it.
what's that? What did he say? I didn't even hear him.
He said that it's Rogaine time.
Yeah. Right.
hey man, pass some through the screen.
don't
I got
have
a
that
nice
issue.
little signing spot back there. Right?
Right.
I don't have that issue.
But
It's
yeah,
all this fucking stress of the government, ain't it?
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
right.
that's why my beard's white.
Like that before.
so
She said
the
it's
public-
like that forever.
for public safety, does official misconduct want to address the chat and say goodbye?
She needs to scoot in here, baby.
Hey, everybody. Hope y'all have a good night.
All right.
And
I'm talking about.
now I'm sorry. Who's the young lady on?
Official
This is-
misconduct.
This
Misconduct.
is Tiffany. Her channel is called Official Misconduct.
Okay.
And then my
MISS.
channel is called For Public Safety. We do the same thing. We work as a team, but we just are tackling different elements. Like my page is about our case, and her page is just about government conduct. You know, we do audits, in other words.
Yep.
So
All right. For public safety, you got anything to say on the way out the door?
no, man, just I'm glad we got to talk about some things because it was driving me nuts talking about case law versus constitution. Man, I'm all about some constitutional law, guys.
Oh, let me tell you, there's I've forgotten, for reasons I've mentioned earlier, I've forgotten more than most people know. And I've had conversations with law professors and lawyers about constitutional law, and they kind of get pissed at me because I'm a purist.
Yeah.
I'm a
You can make 'em work
constitutionalist
like
and
that
a
too, man.
constitutional purist, and I make them think. Think. I'm like, how can case law override the Constitution?
It really can't.
It can't.
The only
It's
thing
not
it can do
supposed
is
to.
there's bits and pieces of argument within an argument that it can be utilized for. That's it.
Right, and
Well.
they use it all the time.
Yeah.
That being my point, I don't know if I made that point earlier as to why I don't like case law, is because they use it all the time to override the Constitution.
Yeah, but
Because
there are
some
case laws
judge-
that we utilize too, though, that
Yeah.
is in favor. There are. I mean, this community. If you're watching the 1A audits, you'll see people throw them out there all the time. But
Yep.
there's so few that everyone in the community knows all of them. And then
Yeah.
there's so many case laws against constitutional rights that fucking state can pull them out of their ass. So
Well,
you're
I'm
not
telling
wrong,
you,
man. It's just
I got my Second Amendment to argue
yeah. Hey,
any
and that's-
violation of my rights.
I know, guys. I know Toe's got to go, man.
Yeah,
But
right.
as far
right.
as the amendment rights, or
I'm
second,
laughing.
it can be used in every circumstance in which a government employee is violating any of the other amendments. Like, in
Yeah.
other words, when they broke in my house, I was under constitutional protection to fucking blow their brains out as they walked in my door.
If
I
it
would
was
have
a
been
no-knock
protected
warrant,
of my
yes.
Second Amendment if I had shot their fucking dicks off. And now I wished I had. Well, I probably shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. But yeah, no, the Second Amendment is literally there for each and every scenario, not just as a whole. It's for every scenario in which constitutional. It's called tyranny. Each time a government employee is acting out of constitutional law, when he's violating constitutional law, and they know they're doing it, and they're doing it, you have the right to your Second Amendment. That's
Hey,
what it's
public
there for.
safety. Let's go ahead. We can
Yeah.
actually continue this backstage.
Yeah,
If
I
you
gotta
want.
go
let's
too,
do
man.
that.
Toe's got to jump out of here.
Kick
I'm
Chris
gonna
in the
drop you guys
basement.
down
Road
in the
dog.
basement
Kick-
for a
kick-
second.
Well, let Wolves then say goodbye to the chat, but kick Chris in the basement. He already did.
right.
Well, I guess we're calling it a night, guys. I'm glad y'all joined us. This was actually very good, informative, and fun. So
And We thank you for coming, man.
Hey,
We will-
anytime.
hopefully,
anytime.
we'll see you on Wednesday.
Unless I drop dead, I'll
Don't
be
say
here.
that. All right. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday, bro.
All right, I'm gonna
Thank
put you
you.
in
All
the
right.
basement for just a moment, and then we'll let Big Man say his goodbye.
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yep.
got you.
Thanks everybody for joining in. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the likes and all that great shit. Anyways, freeze, motherfuckers. We out.
All right, I'll put you down in the basement.
All right.
He's something else.
And real quick, I want to address something in the chat that I seen. George Ward, don't delete your channel. I enjoy your channel. I enjoy watching you your videos and your lives. So don't do it. Thanks, buddy.
You always take what I want to say out.
Sorry, man.
I actually saw that, and I was going to
Yeah.
address that myself. I don't think he should get rid of his channel at all. I love seeing him in chats. I love seeing him talking and joking and having fun. Yeah, you definitely don't delete it.
Right. And
We'll
know what
miss you
time it
around
is.
here.
Right on. You know what time it is.
This shit I'm out, no thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me please, fuck this shit I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit I'm out.
And that's it, y'all. Fuck the shit, I'm out. Thanks everybody in the chats. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are the reason why I keep coming back. I don't know about Road Dog, but you're the reason why I keep coming back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I love you guys, all the mods. You guys know I love you. The family, we love you. Thanks for coming in for public safety official misconduct. Wolves Den, auditing Arkansas, Big Man Audit, and American Justice of Texas. Thank you guys. I love you guys. You guys are all awesome. Road Dog's the best. Ellie, have a good night. Thanks for coming. 007, Jody FJ, Mr. Irrelevant. You know you're irrelevant to me, but Sweet Tea, all you guys. I love you guys. And you know how we do it, man. So here it goes, man. If I could get that out of my face for a minute. But just let y'all know, man, I am Toe for Life. This is my dog, Road Dogs Media, and we out this bitch. Toodles.
Later.